Let's talk about some tips for synthetic division. It doesn't matter if you struggle with synthetic division or you're confident in your abilities. These tips are exactly what I give to my students to help them avoid making those mistakes that happen on your test and your quiz, and they can be costly to your grade. So let's get right into it. Exactly the process that I say, hey guys, make sure you follow this tip when you are working through synthetic division. The first one is to always set your factor equal to 0. So set your factor, or set your divisor equal to 0, okay? Equal to 0. Now, why is that the case? Well, ladies and gentlemen, when you are doing synthetic division, like if I have a x cubed plus a x squared plus x plus 1, and we're going to divide that by x minus 1, the most common mistake that I see students do is they put a -1 here when they go ahead and set up for synthetic division. And a lot of times they know better, but they just make that mistake, right? Because they're trying to work through things and do things nice and fast. So I say, let's not do things nice and fast, and let's just create a tip of whatever my denominator is, I'm going to set that equal to 0. So I have an x plus 1 equal to 0. Subtract the 1, and I get x equals a -1. Sorry, I wrote that in wrong. Or another tip is to make sure you write in the factor correctly. So I'm going to add a 1 onto both sides, and I get a +1. So there, ladies and gentlemen, when doing synthetic division, you should be doing that with a +1. Now, this is kind of like a silly mistake. It happens. You can just see I even like fumbled around. But another more important one that will happen up is, what about if I had a 2 in front of there? So again, or let's put a 2 in red because I want you to see something. So what about if I had a, come on, get in there. Yes, gotcha. Okay. So what if I had a 2x minus 1? Again, just set the 2x minus 1 equal to 0. Add 1 divided by 2, x is equal to a 1/2. Now again, what if I had this as a squared? You're like, oh crap, like what are we going to do with this? Well, I really don't want to actually square it on that. But what if I had a different one? What about if your divisor was a, let's do this. What if it was a x squared minus 9? Sometimes a lot of teachers, a lot of students will say, you can't use synthetic division for quadratics. Well, yes, you can. Take your quadratic divisor, set it equal to 0. Add a 9 to both sides. X squared is equal to 9, square root, x equals plus or minus a 3i. So you can do it, but you have to do synthetic division twice. One with 3i and one with a -3i. Yes, you cannot do synthetic division with the -9. That's not going to work, but you can do it for the imaginary term of 3i as well as -3i. Okay, so that's a good tip. Just make sure you follow it. It's a silly mistake, and I don't want to cost you points on something that more likely than not, you already know how to do. The next one, when you have synthetic division set up and you have something like this, like a 7, 8, -5, 4. I've made mistakes and I'm like, how did I make mistake on synthetic division? It's so simple. You add on the vertical, multiply on the diagonal, right? Now, obviously, when you're dealing with i's or irrational numbers, there's more mistakes and opportunities to make mistakes. But one thing I always tell students to do is use your arrows. Just draw some arrows on the initial operation, so therefore you can always remember it. The first one term is always a freebie, so I just draw an arrow. But then I also put a little plus mark to remind myself I am adding. Because remember, when we're doing long division, we subtract our rows, right? We're finding the difference between those rows of polynomials. But for synthetic division, we add on the vertical. So again, can you forget it? Can you mix it up when you're taking a test? Of course, you're thinking of so many things that are going on, or maybe you're stressed out or frustrated. So just draw an arrow and put a nice little plus mark. So then you're going to get a 7 here. Then you got to make sure to get the next term, you're going to take a 7 times a 5. So what I do is I draw another arrow and I put a little dot, and that just reminds me, add on the vertical, multiply on the diagonal. So when I do this, 7 times 5, I'm going to get a 35. Add on the vertical, right? I see the plus, it just reminds me. So then you know you're going to get a 43. Then again, these are completely made up numbers. But then I say, what do I do now? Oh yeah, I multiply on the diagonal, 43 times 5, right? And then you just go ahead and go through the rest of the process. Number 3, when you get your answer. So let's say when you get your answer for synthetic division, let's say we're dealing with something like this, and we get a 1, a 0, 7, -2, 3. Okay. And then we're going to get all these numbers down below. I don't know why I wrote a 5 there because that's the freebie, right? So we get a 1, and then we get a -2. And let's say, I'm just making up numbers. So please don't correct my math. I want to just make up random numbers. So therefore you guys can see it. And this is going to be a 5. So this would be a 3. And then let's make this a 1. So we have a 4. Okay. So what I always tell my students to do is the worst thing that you can do is leave this as your answer, right? Synthetic division, guys, is a tool. It's going to give you the coefficient and the constant and the remainder of your quotient. It's not going to give you the actual quotient with those variables. So what you have to do is you have to be able to decode this. So what I always tell my students to do before you try to write your answer in your head is just a simple little trick. The last number that you get from synthetic division is always going to be your remainder. The second last number is always going to be your constant. And then what we have is our coefficients. Here's the coefficient of our x term. Here's the coefficient of our x squared term. Here's the coefficient of our x cubed terms. And then you can just keep on going down the row as the x to the fourth, x to the fifth, and so on and so forth. But write this in before you write your answer. Because again, I can't tell you how many times students will mix up the numbers. They'll put like a -2x cubed. They forget the 1. They mix up the 0. They think that's the constant. They don't understand the remainder. R, C, x, x squared, x cubed, x to the fourth, x to the fifth, and just keep going on and on. I think it's the easiest thing that you guys can do to help you remember how to write the quotient properly. And then, so number 4 is going to come into when we have those zeros. So remember what I was talking about, like if you had a, x to the fifth minus a, why did I put the x to the fifth, but minus a, let's say a 2, x cubed, and let's say plus a 1. Okay. And that's divided by, x squared minus 9. Now, again, that first tip, right, is to always make sure you set that equal to 0. So you get x equals plus or minus a 3i. Now, what we're going to have to do is we are going to have to do synthetic division twice. Now, here's the next tip. When you are doing synthetic division with complex numbers or with irrational numbers, like with radicals, give yourself space. Okay. See how the numbers are kind of nice and tight? The last and worst thing you want to be doing is have everything nice and squished up. I have made mistakes constantly and I'm like, where did I make my mistake? Oh, I've read everything wrong and everything wasn't not aligned. So I'm going to take my terms and I'm going to separate everything nice and far. Okay. See 4, that's a 4. That's a 2, 0, 0, 1. Oh, I even ran out of space here. So I will do it. Let me go into it. But I can expect what's going to happen, right? So I'm just expanding everything out. Now, obviously, this is all going to be dependent on what time and space that you have, sheet of paper. But the reason why that's going to happen is like this first term is going to be a 1, right? And then this would be like a 3i. And then I get a 3i here. And then you multiply this. But then over here, what you're going to have is you're going to start getting, or if it was like this, or even if it was like a 1 minus a 3i, like another constant, like what's going to happen is you're going to start getting these terms of like 1 minus I, and then like 7i plus 5. And if you have all your numbers so close together, it's just it's hard to distinguish my vertical lanes that what I'm adding and what I'm multiplying by. So sometimes you can use parentheses, that will help. But I think also just having things spread out easily allows you to see what vertically you are adding and then what you're going to be multiplying on the horizontal. Please, again, I'm just making up some numbers. If you want to actually see me work through problems just like this with real numbers and real problems, I'll make sure I have links to the videos down below that you guys can go ahead and check out. All right, and my last tip is going to be, let's go and get that back into blue, is going to be write out your dividing. Now, I talked about this a little bit in my mistake video, but let's say you have a polynomial. Again, it's going to be something like a, 6x squared plus 3x plus 1 or something like that. And we're going to divide it by a 3x plus 1. Okay. So when we go through the process, right, we set this equal to 0, we get a -1/2, we write the coefficients 3 and 1. Immediately at this point, I stop. Okay. Immediately at this point, I stop. And what I say is, all right, -1/3. There you go. Geez, not even doing my math correctly. Immediately at this point, I stop and I'm going to write divide by 3. Okay? Because what's going to happen is you're going to go through the same process and you're going to forget to divide by 3. We have to divide by 3, ladies and gentlemen, because the quotient that we're going to get from synthetic division, the first term always comes down, which is a 6. And let's just call this one, -1, a 2, and let's say it evenly divides into that. So you're trying to tell me that a 3x plus 1, right? If this evenly divides into this many times, which is going to give me a 6x plus 2. You're telling me 3x plus 1 times 6x plus 2 equals a 6x squared? No, that doesn't even make any sense. 3x times 6x is an 18, right? So this can't be true. So immediately, once I see a coefficient on my divisor, I write divide by 3, which is dividing by that coefficient. That's now going to give me my terms of a 2. And then over here, I didn't pick a good number, but that's going to be a 2/3. Okay. So now what that's going to give me is, again, I just made up numbers, so I apologize, but hopefully you understand the process is the same. So you're going to take a 3x and you're dividing by 2 is now going to give me a 2x plus a 1/2. And again, what I'm trying to confirm here is that these two numbers are going to give me that first term up there, right? And again, a lot of students understand that, they remember it, but again, what the thing that happens on tests and quizzes? They forget to do it. So that's why it's a great tip for you to follow. You see that coefficient, immediately just know, I'm going to have to divide by 3 once I'm done. Well, don't wait until you're done. Write it down once you notice it, and then you won't miss it when you get to that point. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully these tips were helpful for you. If you have a test or a quiz coming up, I wish you the best of luck. If you need a little bit more help understanding or just working through practice problems with synthetic division, I'll make sure I have some practice sheets as well as some more videos to help you really dive in a little bit deeper. Hope you can check out those links or in the video down below. Cheers.